welcome to this episode of EduLeader Speaks. It is my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Arunabh Singh, Director and Principal of the Ghaziabad-based Nehru World School. Dr. Singh is also a British Council School Ambassador. He is the Chairman of the Uttar Pradesh Western Division of FICCI Arise, which is an alliance of private schools with the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. And wait, now there's more. He is also a member of the School Standards Setting Committee under the National Education Policy India 2020. So that's a lot that you have on your plate, Dr. Singh. And thank you so much that you still made time for us here.
Okay. Thank you for having me over. It's an honor.
Okay. All right, let's go straight to the questions. Where would you place education on your national list of priorities?
High on intent and low on budget.
Okay. All right. Okay, now coming to the pandemic year, which has been full of challenges for all the stakeholders from the field of education. So, what is your assessment of the past year? And if you had to rate Indian K 12 education's response to the pandemic, how would you rate it?
I think our response has been fantastic. We've been part of a lot of international forums where discussions are happening. And this is perhaps the first time that the first world, the second world, and the third world is solving exactly the same problem at the same time. And it's heartening to see that when these discussions happen, all these three worlds have advice or things that have worked for each other that are applicable in the other worlds as well.
You've been a great proponent of technology, the use of technology by teachers especially, right? So do you believe that blended learning is the only way ahead, or do you think it's going to be part of something else?
No, blending learning is here to stay. It has existed before as well. And a big learning that has happened is there has been a proof of concept of screen as a platform of learning. Like the mass online open courses had existed from probably a decade or more, or MIT has been putting its classes on the internet for decades now. So that information has been there, but the mental acceptability of the learner, of the teacher wasn't right there, which I think has happened. So a screen in whichever format it is available, if it is a mobile phone, if it's a tab or a computer, it's been accepted as a format of learning. Technology may not replace teachers, but teachers who use technology effectively will perhaps in the long run replace those who don't.
We've seen that accessibility is a problem. Do you have any prescription about how India could get digitally ready for this kind of digital education that we're talking about?
I will never forget this one child. We were working with the Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalayas. This is a central and state government scheme where girls stay on campus and study. And the question was, अगर आपको विदेश जाने का मौका मिले तो आप कहाँ जाएंगे व कैसे? If you ever get to go to a foreign country, where would you go and how? And this child who's growing up 20 kilometers away from Delhi, her reply was, I will go to Delhi by train.
Oh my.
Those were the two aspirations that this child had, growing up 20 kilometers away from Delhi. So will we be able to do justice to the child who's 200 kilometers away or 500 or 1000 kilometers away and get the access of teacher and an ecosystem that supports, versus can we put that child in a grid and get this child to access the teacher sitting remotely? The second answer is perhaps doable in the next decade if we put our heart and soul to it.
We have a new union education minister, Dharmendra Pradhan. So what, according to you, should be his top three priorities?
So teacher training and empowerment is my first. Reach would be second. And third, once you've trained the teacher, once you've got the child in that classroom, then has to be efficacy of your learning. How relevant is what you are teaching?
Are you satisfied with the way the growth and development of your own school over the years? You have been bringing in a lot of new technologies, new way of thinking and all that. So are you really happy with where you have reached now?
I think we are blessed with a fantastic, super motivated, cohesive team of teachers. Okay. That has been the biggest journey or the most important milestone that we've crossed. And the pandemic perhaps has added to that. We've come together as a team. The grade 1 teacher was also solving the same problem that the grade 12 teacher was solving, which was to figure out the technology of how do I run my class. And as a result, we had learnings that we were sharing with each other. So I think our biggest win has been this team of teachers who go out of their way to assist children in under their care. You have to look at that as an extended family. And while the pandemic was going on, we went through the Great Place to Work survey to actually understand if people were given an anonymous form to tell what they're feeling about their place of employment and what can we do if there is advice that they would not give us because we are the employer. So the results of that were astonishing. Like, we had outdone the best 50 workplaces in India on every parameter. And this was people giving extensive feedback on a completely anonymous form. Everybody had filled up the same form in a language of their choice. So I think creating this cohesive team has been the biggest win. And in the pandemic, we've not laid off a single person.
Okay, now for some very quick questions. How would you describe your leadership style?
I'm trying to become irrelevant to my school. Because if I'm the bottleneck, then I'm actually the biggest challenge for my organization. So to my understanding, this leadership has to be distributed. And the more ownership and empowerment people in the team have for the processes that they are in charge of, the better it is going to be. I'm not the right person to ask that. It's probably the team would give a better answer if they're happy when I'm not in school or if they're happy when I'm around.
Okay. Next question. What's your favorite book on education?
Divya Swapna by Gijubhai Bhadekar, written in 1931, where he talks about experiential learning.
Great. You're the thinker or philosopher that you greatly admire?
More recently, I would give this to Carol Dweck. Carol is a Stanford University-based psychologist for her work on growth mindset. So she's talking about stretching, and she's actually saying it is not that I can't do this. It's only I can't do this yet. And how yet is actually the most important word in the English dictionary for her.
Okay. Your favorite Nobel laureate?
The Curie family would come on my favorites. In this one small family, they've got 5 Nobel Prizes.
Okay.
So Madame Curie and her husband jointly won a Nobel in physics in 1903. But she carried on her work, and then 10 years later, Madame Curie got another Nobel in chemistry. Not a lot of people know that. And interestingly, then her daughter, Irene, gets a chemistry Nobel in 1935. So I don't have a favorite Nobel, but I have a favorite Nobel family.
Great. Okay. All right. Pessimistic or optimistic about the future of education in India?
Having worked on the school standards document on the national education policy, I'm really optimistic about the policy. It is future ready. It is talking about the right things, and people who created it, that a respect for all those people who put this document together. Pessimistic on the kind of money we are allocating for it. I come back a full circle on my first response. The kind of commitment financially that we need for what we are saying in the policy to actually see the light of the day, I don't see that happening right now.
Thank you very much. It was very interesting.
Hope to see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.
Yes.